Hey guys, good afternoon. I know it's much later than usual, but I had court this morning, so I couldn't come talk until I got out of court. And I did well in court, so thank you, and thank you for your support. I have gossip. But first, I'm Lauren Cadillac, Cadillac Law. I am also known as OG Cadillac and Mother of the Decade, but only two people can call me mom. And I am the owner and operator of Cadillac Law, a law firm in Dallas, Texas. We mainly do estate planning and real estate related stuff. We do business contracts, those kind of things, lawsuits. We do not do criminal defense, but I'm a proud American. And criminal defense is very important. And I enjoy watching criminal videos, or I'm sorry, trials live. And you guys know that. If you've been here before, you know who I am. You know what I like to do. Okay, so here is the crazy ass tea, guys. The other day, I'm laying in bed and I turn on YouTube and I see this video that contains a leaked interrogation with one of the boys that was in the car next to Melly that left the record studio. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to recap for you what I learned from that video, and it was so much. I mean, it was like at least 30 minutes, and there was no organization. It was so freaking scattered. So I'm going to try to tell you chronologically, but I'll probably be like, oh, I just remembered something. Sorry, my bangs are irritating me. Okay. This shit is wild. All right. I cannot remember this boy's name. I'm sorry. And I know a lot of you don't think a 25-year-old boy is a boy, but I do. I'm a 44-year-old woman, and a 25-year-old boy is simply a boy to me. He was friends with Bortland, Juvie, and Sack Chaser, and Melly, I guess, from childhood. And he still lived back with his parents. And Juvie and Sack and Melly lived in this house, and I think Bortland lived there too, but I don't know. Okay. So they used to come pick him up from the hood to kind of roll with them and have fun with them and go to the recording studio and da 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 da. All right. And he did it a lot. He's like one of their best friends. He's like one of the close ones. Okay. That's super important because of what he says later. He's a very close friend. He's known these kids forever, since they were like sixth grade. Men are interesting that way. They like meet their friends in sixth grade and then that's it. I don't think women operate that way, usually. Okay, so they're at the recording studio, and he said that he felt the energy was off. You know, mind you, he's always hanging out with them, right? Like he's been around them for years. So if he thinks the energy's off, the energy's off. Like, this is a good source, right? He's part of the crew. I didn't realize this, but Fetty Wap, the artist who did Trap Queen, which I love, Fetty Wap was there in the studio with him. I didn't realize that. So he says that typically they would hang out at the studio till 6 a.m., which was when their booking would end. And then they would go back to the house that Melly and Sack Chaser and Juvie lived at. And they would go swim in the pool and party some more and then hit the hay. But again, he said the energy was off. And he thought it was really odd that they were leaving at like 3. He's like, it's weird because we had it booked until 6. And their pattern of behavior was to hang out all the way till 6 and then go to the pool. Okay, everyone following me, right? On this particular night, he says that he walked up to the car that Melly ended up leaving in, and he reached for the handle, and he says the spirit of the Lord threw his hand back, and he tried it again, and he could not physically get the car door to open because his spirit guides or whoever was helping him. So he then proceeds to get in the back seat of the car that was next to Melly's. Hold on, let me see if I can pull something up here. Let me Give me a second. Okay, so he gets in the car that's next to Melly's, and here we go. Footage of Melly getting in the car. Let's see if we can. I don't know which screen this is set to share, so pardon me. Okay, this one. Here we go. Here we go. Let's watch this real quick. All right. Oh, whoa, my bad. Let's not watch this one. Okay, here we go. Here's the. He gets into this car on the right. As you recall, Melly gets into this car, right? So he's one of the four. He gets into the car on the right and he gets into the driver's side passenger seat. So he's on the side over here. So he tried to open this door and said he couldn't. And so he just turned to this door and got in this car. Uh, I don't know if this is Fetty Wap, but my understanding is that Fetty Wap then sat in this front passenger seat, and some kid named AJ was driving, and there was some boy in the back also whose name I don't know. Let's see if we can see any of these people. Okay, so he's okay. All right, there. Juvie just got in the car. Bortland's coming around. That must be Fetty Wap because it looks like he's going into the front seat. So he said, this had me tripping, y'all. He says these kids leave guns everywhere, everywhere. They leave them in the Airbnb, which I think he meant Airbnb. He says Airbnb. They leave them in the Airbnbs. Um, they leave guns everywhere. So he said that one of the boys that was in the Melly car had to go back into the studio because he left the Tech Nine in there. Who leaves it? I mean, who leaves a gun behind? That's craziness to me. Just like leaving your car keys. I don't know. It's so ridiculous. So the dude goes back, gets the Tech Nine. Melly has his man purse. He gets on his side, as we know. Sack is next to Melly. Juvie's in front of him. Bortland's driving. This boy is rear passenger. AJ's driving. Fetty Wap is front passenger. And, I'm sorry, he's rear driver. And then the other kid is rear passenger. Okay, so he says they take off and they are no, behind Melly until they get onto the I, which presumably means interstate. So when they get onto the I, they somehow get ahead of Melly. And he notices that his driver keeps doing this to look back for Melly's car. Now, mind you, the energy was weird and they're leaving early. And someone had left the Tech Nine. So they're both doing this, looking for Melly's car. And they get off the interstate and they lose Melly. Then they get to the house and they have to wait forever because of the key or something. They go into the house and he's sitting there playing video games with the kid. He's in the same room as the kid that was sitting to his right. Trey or Tay or something, I don't know. Anyhow, that kid falls asleep first. He said he did not want to fall asleep because they would prank each other when they fell asleep. And he said, I want to be the pranker, right? Not the pranky. So I'm not trying to fall asleep. I'm trying to stay up. Plus, I don't know where my friends are yet, right? Like, it's been an hour or so at this point. They're still not back. But he's saying at that moment, I'm thinking, well, maybe they just stopped for some cigar loaves or some food or both, and they'll be here any minute. And he falls asleep, essentially holding his phone. All right. He is woken a few hours later. Oh, by the way, these fabulous earrings came from Tavonda, our viewer. Thank you, Tavonda. I love them. All right, so he is woken like an hour or so later. His phone is ringing. It's his sister. He picks up. He sees when he picks up the phone that his mom has called and he says, oh no, I'll call you back. Hangs up, calls mom. That is the correct. When mom has called you at like 4 or 5 a.m., you call her back immediately. I don't care who else calls. Mom. Good boy. So at least he's like a good young man in that sense, right? But by the way, he was in jail on some other stuff, and then they brought him in for this interrogation. And they asked him if he knew why he was there, and he's like, yeah. And he's pissed that Juvie was killed. Maybe not Sack. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so he calls his mom, and it's like maybe 5:30 a.m. Like his scale of time is not the greatest, but it's probably about 5:36. And she says, I just got word that all of you were dead. What they don't get into, but I am just like, where did she get that word? Who woke her up in the middle of the night at 5 a.m. to tell her that her son and all of his friends were deceased? Like, now that never came out, but I am mind boggled. Okay, so she says, I thought you were all, and he freaks out. So he jumps up and he goes room to room to room. Fetty Wap has not seen them. This guy hasn't seen them. You know, one guy's staying in Sack Chaser's room. It's not Sack in there. The Fetty's in Juvie's room. It's not Juvie in there. Where are my friends? Then, and I don't quite understand how this happened because again, this is like when he's describing it, it's freaking everywhere. So I don't understand how it happens, but 100K Track shows up. Okay, and he is like, we need to go to the woods. So this boy, AJ, the other boy in 100K Track go to the woods to find a gun. How would 100K Track know that there's a gun in the woods? Then the boy says he found a 40 cal wrapped in a blue rag with blood all over it. And 100K Track took that from him and he said, well, what about the Tech 9? And 100K Track said, don't worry about it. So 100K Track absolutely knew what had happened in that car and how those weapons got there and which one was used and which one was used. He knew. That is approximately the time Melly starts blowing them all up on FaceTime. And he says, come get me at Fredo Bangs. So they all go to Fredo Bangs with the gun wrapped in a bloody rag. And Melly is dressed not in last night's clothes. No, 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 no. He is in basketball shorts, a wife beater, and flip flops. Well, Fredo Bang's a big boy, and Melly is not. So if Melly goes to Fredo Bang with his bloody clothes and says, yo, I need to change, it makes me think of that scene in Pulp Fiction, you know? And then they have the silly t-shirts and the basketball shorts because that is what you hand your friend when you if you've even seen a movie, you know. So Melly's now here in basketball shorts. The man purse is missing, but dude did see blood on it and confirmed that the 40 had been inside the man purse. Then the kid asks, and this is crazy, did Juvie have a hole through his thumb? Well, Juvie did have a hole through his thumb. This kid had met with Bortland between the happening and this discussion. And so I don't know if he got this information from Bortland, but I kind of think so. And he said, that's what I thought. Juvie tried to fight off the gun. Okay, so now we get into, but why, right? And the dude is saying, like, Juvie is the nicest person that ever faced the earth. He's just a great human. And he said, Sack Chaser is awful. He is abusive to his friends. He has like beat Bortland up in the car to the point Bortland's crying, going like, "Why are you beating me?" He is abusive. He's 6'6". He weighs a gazillion pounds. He is awful. He tells the police that Melly said to him, you don't know what Sack is doing to me. and then says, I think Sack was molesting Melly. This boy is around. This boy knows these people. When Melly said, You don't know what he's doing to me, this boy understood Melly's tone. This boy felt the vibe off. This boy knows what is going on. And I had thought to myself at first when I heard the name Sack Chaser, that doesn't exactly sound straight. I am a great lover of men. Okay? Don't you never call me Sack Chaser. Why wouldn't you use R? The letter R comes first? Rack Chaser? A rack chaser? That be. So I had my suspicions when I had heard that name, but then to hear this kid who is so well connected to these people say that that is what was going on between Sack and Melly. Y'all. Y'all. But then I'm like, why not use that as your defense? Because, like, if I'm on a jury and someone's doing that to you and you pop them, like, yeah, I know you broke the law, but it's a minimal. Yeah, yeah, you shouldn't kill people, but also they shouldn't rape you. So, kind of, you know, kind of crazy. I said, I knew it. I knew it. I knew that game. I knew that name was. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Hmm. Okay, so then they're like, but why Juvie, right? Because Juvie apparently is the world's greatest person. And he says, not Juvie would never tell the police. It's not that Juvie would go run and tell the police. Juvie would tell the streets. And, hey, tall glass. Yes, Amber now. The plot twisted indeed. So they said he believed that Juvie would tell the streets, and with the hole in Juvie's thumb, that made him believe that Juvie tried to fight the gun or Melly in some way after Melly shot Sack Chaser. The minute I saw that, I said, "Oh, I gotta tell these guys. I gotta tell. I gotta tell. I gotta tell. This is that is some news. That's like." So I'm like, why not use that as your defense if you're Melly? I guess because it doesn't defend you on Juvie. But as it pertains to Sack Chaser, like the streets won't allow it. I guess I don't know, dude. I don't know. This kid in earnest believes Melly did it because Sack Chaser was molesting him. This kid in earnest believes Melly shot Juvie because Juvie fought him off and would tell the streets. Who is a better source than a best friend? I mean, maybe a sibling. Like this, they lived there all. Like he didn't live there, but he was always with them. He's there. They grew up together. He knows them. He knows what's going on. If he read Melly's tone and he knows who the Sack Chaser is. He knows what kind of man Sack Chaser is, right? Man. What kind of boy Sack Chaser is. He's gigantic, but he's still a freaking 25-year-old boy. He knows what kind of person, a boy, Sack Chaser is. I feel like his conclusion, along with choosing the name Sack Chaser. What do you think? What do you think? What do you guys think? Tall glass, what do you think? Amber now? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I was fucking mind blown. I would have come and done a live sooner, but I had like trial prep and all this work to do. So like I had to take care of my hearing this morning so that I could be here with you this afternoon to drop this bomb. And then I'm like, why didn't I see any of this in the first trial? Why did I not? I watched the whole first trial and didn't know Fetty Wap was there. Like, was I distracted? Or did they just fail? Did they fail to mention that? Did I miss that? Like I don't know. I watched the whole first thing. And after the whole first trial, I really kind of thought Melly might be innocent, but man, after seeing this, after seeing this, and then why didn't they call this guy to testify in the first trial? I don't understand. I mean, this is the smoking gun, y'all. He found the freaking weapon. And then they were like, did you ever see that gun again? No. Fredo Bang, by the way, who reclothed Melly and probably disposed of the gun with the clothing, they did a deposition of him and he asserted his fifth practically the entire time. So he didn't really say anything. What does that say to us? Now, you guys know I'm like, prove him guilty, right? This does it. This does it. This does it. Speechless, yes. Speechless. I knew it. Why else would you choose the name Sack Chaser? That's such a poor choice of street name. Not that I, a middle-aged white lady from the burbs, am like the greatest judge of street. Yes, I am a good judge of street names. I have nothing to do with them. I am a neutral third party. I hear some street names, I say, oh, that's very clever. I like that. Like I like Fredo Bang. I like 100K Truck. I think those are cool names. Sack Chaser. I've always had an issue with that double entendre. And even though that double entendre really does apply to me, I don't like that double entendre. And I could never understand until I saw that video. And don't forget, Sack Chaser was also had a relationship with Melly's mom. So Sack Chaser was banging Melly's mom and potentially him at the same time. That's it. That's the bomb. I just came here to drop bombs on a Friday. Hey! You guys stew on that one over the weekend, will ya? I have been big tripping about this. I even called my friend. I was like, Champion! Da, da, da. In fact, Champion is a good friend of mine, and he has followed the case as closely as I have, but he sees so many details that I haven't seen. Like, our perspectives are very different, so he's able to like really catch on a lot of things that I can't. So he is going to come onto the show one day and we're going to discuss it together. Yeah, okay, Mac Sack, Money Sack, I was thinking the same thing, but because it has that double entendre, why wouldn't you go with rack? Because racks are also money and they have to do with women. Okay. Okay, so uh I'm hoping that my friend Champion can come on in the next few weeks and him and I just like talk with y'all about it because he catches so much that I don't, and I catch things he doesn't, and he's not a lawyer, but he's a hip hop fan, and I'm a lawyer, and he was my intern many years ago, so 510 original. I appreciate that comment, but this was someone who was very close to them, and that was his impression of what Melly said that Zach was doing to him. That is what he earnestly believed. So I appreciate that. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you lived there. I don't know if you were best friends with these boys like he was, but I tend to believe someone who's part of the clique. So, yeah, crazy, crazy. Also, so sad that Juvie is gone because apparently he's such a good dude. Like, it just doesn't even make sense. And apparently he was on his way out of the rap game. I could, as a middle aged white lady, tell everyone don't get into that stuff, but no one would listen to me, so yeah. Okay, exactly, Karina. Because Sack has a double entendre. Yeah, I chase money. Okay, I do. And I love men. But you ain't calling me a sack chaser. That's gross. It's so gross. At 5'10", you definitely cannot speak on behalf of all black folks because Karina says she's a black woman and she does call it that. So, good try. Um, yeah, pretty crazy shit. Maybe the prosecution doesn't want that to come in because it has that that accusation that does help justify a murder, certainly. So maybe that's why we didn't see the video last time, or they didn't know about it. I don't know. This was just found deep in the internet, and I had to share. Had to share. I always had my suspicions, and I feel like this kid confirmed it. Wild. All right, thank you for joining. I will hopefully see you next week. Oh, the Yellow Beezy trial is still very much on for 2-2. I will be there, even though it's just going to be jury selection at first. And I will, yeah, see you before. Oh, we'll do a meet and greet then in February. Not that first week because we usually have a freeze around it, so we'll plan it like the second week of Yellow Beezy's trial. We'll do the meet and greet here in my town. Come to my city. And yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy ish on the Melly front. And you know, he has two amazing lawyers now. He really might get off. Like, I thought he was innocent after the first trial, so I don't know. Shit is what? And you know, I love you guys, so I have to come gossip with you immediately when I have stuff like that. Well, it wasn't immediate, and I'm sorry, but I have a job. All right, that's todo. Adios, amigos. I will see you all soon.